Hello and welcome to the channel. We are going to be doing a little bit of a kind of rundown and review of this guy here, which is the Warrior Assault Systems LPC plate carrier. So before we kick off, please, if you like today's video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of the content we put on the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon to get notified when we post new stuff. So today we're going to be talking about this guy here. This is the Warrior Assault Systems LPC, which is a new plate carrier. It's been out now for a couple of months. I've had this for a month or so, and it's a lightweight plate carrier with a few features that are common with the recon plate carrier that they do, but also are some things that are unique to this guy. So the first thing to sort of note about this plate carrier is it comes in two different versions. It comes in a version with a solid cummerbund like this, and it comes in a version that has a strap-based cummerbund, which is essentially just webbing straps like that attached at the ends. So the first version, this version, the one I have here, is what they call the version 1 version, which is solid cummerbund, and the version 2 version is the one with the alternative cummerbund. Now I've got this is being set up. I've used this a few times now, and basically this is being set up at the moment anyway. This is running for my 417. So I've actually got a Spiritus Systems chest rig attached to the front, and this is one of the features that this has in common with the recon plate carrier, is this dual quick release clip system to enable you to attach chest rigs and other panels to the front of the carrier. So as you can see, I've got a pretty much a standard chest rig that's been attached to the front here. There is essentially a Velcro back. So as with every kind of chest rig, you'll get some Velcro hook and loop on the back, and essentially you can attach your chest rig to the front, clip it onto here, and also you can attach things like the dangler. So this is the Warrior dangler, which I've attached on here, and essentially that's just on the front. This is kind of standard things, but this is actually really handy. It means you can configure this quickly and easily to use different sort of setups. So for instance, this is the Pathfinder chest rig that Warrior do. This fits on here. Again, it will just clip in and then just Velcro down, and it is completely fitted on the front. So that's your kind of Warrior based stuff. We've got the Spiritus one I've just mentioned here. Then we have the Haley Strategic. Again, the Haley Strategic rig will also clip in. It takes the same sort of clips and will fit on the front. And with the Haley, you've also got the Velcro on the back here, which is covered up on mine at the moment. And you essentially can just clip that on the front and run it. The one thing I will note about the Haley is it is actually a bit wider than the front, and the Velcro is wider. So the Velcro will overhang the ends here. But essentially it will fit, and it will work on the front. So you can actually set this up pretty quickly using existing chest rigs. You can also, there is a straight flat molly panel, which you can then use to molly on any kind of mag pouches or anything else that you want to put on the front. But I've kind of used this with the chest rig idea, because it makes it so easy to modularize setups. You know, I've got this set up for my 417, so I've got 417 mags I can drop in the front, and I can just clip this on and I'm good to go. And if I want to go light, I can take this off and put on the straps and then use the rig by itself. So that's that. bit of molly at the front here, which is essentially set up to allow Velcro to be attached there. You see I've got a patch on there, but that's fairly straightforward. Other key sort of useful points about this sort of chest rig. So I like this cummerbund. I'm actually a big fan of solid cummerbunds. I used the Recon plate carrier for a while, and one of the things I found is the cummerbund would bunch up a little bit and it wouldn't support a lot of weight. This is a solid cummerbund. You can attach things to it and get a good bit of weight on here. The other thing about this is as well, if you are using plates, you can put plates in here. So there is essentially plate pockets in the cummerbund where you can attach and you can drop in side plates to your rig. The other thing about this as well is it's got these little Velcro sections here, and this is actually the radio pouch off the DCS, and you can attach this to the side, so you can use a lot of your accessories from your other rigs. So you can get a radio in there, and it's nicely tucked away. Instead of being on the outside and in the way, it actually gives you additional carry space internally because of the way this is formatted. One of the main features of this plate carrier is this guy here. You'll see this is part of its quick release system. Now the quick release system on this is essentially you kind of slide this in and push it up, and that locks it in place. And then when you want to take this off, you pull this tab and drag it down and it pops out. These tabs are actually velcroed in, so you can adjust it, and they're also velcroed in at the back, so you can adjust it as well. It's actually really comfortable to use, and it saves a lot of hassle. I have a DCS and I love the DCS quite a bit. However, the thing about the DCS is it's a pain in the ass to fasten up the cummerbund. With this, it's actually very, very easy. It's much easier to use because of this system. So that's kind of one of the other, and this is probably one of the major reasons why I bought this to try it out, is the cummerbund and the cummerbund fastening setup. So the solid cummerbund, lightweight carrier with the quick release, and then this sort of setup here. The plate carrier itself takes standard SAPI plates. It comes, when you buy it, with these sample foam plates. Now these are a bit thinner than the usual foam plates you get with the Warrior carriers. They tend to be a lot thicker, but this is a much more dense foam, and it's a good bit thinner. It does keep its shape okay with these in. However, I swapped these out for the weighted Trident gear plates, and I've got 1 kilo plates in here at the moment of their sort of standard shooter's cut SAPI plates, and they fit okay. They do add a bit of weight. There is actually, I think these might actually be the Nexus style plates, then maybe, but there is a little bit of give in them at the top. They fit, they work, they are definitely okay in this sort of setup, and they give it, obviously they give it a bit more shape and weight when you're wearing it. I do find that the softer foam plates, they don't retain the shape as much, whereas these do make the plate carrier retain some shape and sit better on you. When we come to the sort of top of the plate carrier, in here we've got an admin pocket. It's quite a nice admin pocket, Velcro closed. It's got inside here we have some sort of elasticated bands which can be used to just hold things in. And then we've got kind of a nice big space. You can put maps, pens, books, phones, that kind of stuff in there. Personally, foam would probably be okay if you're playing Airsoft. It was going to get hit here. There's a good bit of fabric between you, so the phone and things. So if you put it back facing forward, you're probably okay, but I personally wouldn't do that. It's, as I say, it's quite a handy place to have things for sort of general use. You know, you want to get pens in there and so on, and pads and maps and so on, and you want to, it's quite handy to have them in there. Next, as we kind of go up, these are the straps. These are very similar to the straps that you find on the Cry JPC. The material they're made from is okay. It has a little bit of stretch in it, but not a lot. It's lightweight. I kind of don't really sort of care for these so much. I kind of like the fabric ones that are on the Recon more than these. It has got some really decent pads on there for the shoulders. It is adjustable as well. You can do that by just opening this up. And then there's essentially more Velcro underneath here, and you can adjust them to fit, and then you sort of fasten them up. We've got little tabs here for radio wires, water tubes for hydration, that kind of thing. The DCS has tabs here which I like, especially for radio wires. I think this should really have some here, as well as on here. You can run you maybe run your wires up, and it kind of keeps them stowed and tidy here. Without them, it gets a bit messy and flappy, and it can be annoying. So yeah, so that's the straps. The straps are fairly good. They've got a good bit of padding on them. They've got kind of a padded and netted back, but there's a good thickness there of padding. So as we kind of move around, we've got the front. We've done the sort of the release system on the sides. The only other really kind of main things is essentially the back. The back is mollied up, so you can essentially drop anything that you want on the back. You know, you can drop a small pack that you molly on, the assaulters panel, all kinds of things that Warrior do. You can essentially molly on the back here. It's, you know, fairly straightforward. Again, you lift this flap and you can adjust the back. So I just pull this up. And what we've got here is, this is the adjusting for these panels. These are elasticated, so they've got some give in them anyway. But these essentially Velcro down. This is not constantly Velcro, this is only stripped, which I think really it should be one big panel of Velcro. Gives it a bit more stability on the back here, and grippy sort of everywhere, as opposed to just in a couple of key places. I would personally just have them Velcro as well here, because one of the things I found is that if you move these over, they might not actually get caught by this Velcro here. This Velcro here goes onto these, which is not even attached or even helping to secure the cummerbund at all. The cummerbund relies just purely on the Velcro contact with these tabs here, and nothing on the and there's nothing here holding it here, especially if that's over here. So that's the Velcro. Now we've got one thing, and this is a big difference between this and a lot of the other Warrior plate carriers, is the back of the plates. They've gone for this kind of padded, lifted sort of approach. Previous Warrior carriers had a very had a mesh, which was kind of a breathable mesh that lifted off the body. I actually found this to be hotter to wear and a little bit more uncomfortable than the older method of providing breathability. I didn't like this because one of the things I found, I'm a larger chap and I say a little bit have a little bit of fat on me. And one of the things I found is rather than it provides air channels for you to breathe, your body just sort of sucks into these gaps, and it gets essentially becomes one big hot panel where you can't breathe and you get hot and sweaty. So the old way that the panel worked, there was these lots of tiny little mesh holes, and it used a material very similar to this, with a kind of a lifted mesh underneath that enabled you to breathe very easily whilst wearing the panel. This does not. I do not like this. This is one of the things I don't like about this plate carrier, is this sort of approach to thing. It's a good padding. It is good padding, but I got a lot hotter in this than I have in any of the other Warrior carriers, because of the way this sort of hugs the body and everything else. The other gripe about this plate carrier, and even after adjusting the straps here, is whilst wearing this plate carrier, I found it had a tendency to slip backwards. So I every time I've worn this, even with more weight in the front than in the back, it slips backwards. And so this, I was forever pushing this down on the front, because it seemed to sort of always want to basically slip further and further down my back. I've adjusted these straps a bunch of times, and I've just found that it kind of seems to want to just go backwards, even when there's not as much weight on the back as there is on the front. Initially I was running it with just a lighter plate on the front. When I switched to a heavier, the same weights front and back, thinking that was the reason, it didn't, because I had mags. I had stuff in my dangler, I had stuff on the front and the plate. So the front was definitely heavier. The back just had the back plate and an empty pack on the back, and it wanted to slip down at the back all the time. And I just constantly kept trying to push it down, and that's even after adjusting the straps. So I think there is a little bit of something in the straps that's causing that. Maybe it's not gripping on the shoulders right. There's just something not quite conforming with the way this sits on people, or on me anyway. That means it's slipping with the back going further down than the front. One of the things I have noticed is that the back is slightly taller than the front, but not really a huge deal with that. That could just be the way this strap is and everything else. So in general, this has been, I am going to use it a little bit more because I do like the cummerbund, and I do like the flexibility. Yeah, if the DCS plate carrier came with this quick release system on the front, it would be the plate carrier I use all the time. But because of that, because the DCS doesn't have that, I will probably end up having to use this a little bit more. I could potentially use these the cummerbund with a different plate carrier because they are removable. But one of the things is this set of quick release clips at the front mean that this has a really good flexible sort of front end use where you can literally swap things out by just unclipping, popping on a new chest rig or whatever else, and you've got a brand new setup very quickly without having to deal with molly. So that was kind of a brief rundown of this plate carrier. Now, in terms of cost, this is actually probably one of the most expensive Warrior plate carriers. So the Warrior LPC with the solid sides, available in Multicam, is £219.95, so £220 for this here in the UK. It comes in two sizes. There's a large and a medium, and that relates to the plate size more than anything else. I've bought a large, and essentially that's pretty much anyone who's got a 45-inch chest size should choose a large. Basically, if your chest is 45 inches or larger, you should choose a large. If you are less than 45 inches, choose the medium. But that's essentially the rule of thumb for this. It's your chest size, and then that basically suits the size of plate you want to be using. So essentially a large is 45 inches and above, or 114 centimeters. If you happen to have a chest size over 52 inches, the large isn't going to cut it either, in which case I think you're going to be in custom plate carrier territory. So it is available in two versions, I mentioned. There is a version with a what they call a ladder sides, which are essentially just webbing and no solid backing. Again, that is actually £219.95, so the same price for both. In terms of colours, as far as I'm aware at this moment in time, it is only available in Multicam. So you can only get this guy in Multicam. Just double checking this, but essentially, yeah, it's only available in Multicam at the moment. Potentially other colours will come in time, but this is a relatively new plate carrier, so it is only available in the one colour. Would I recommend people buying it? If it's your first plate carrier and you want something that's pretty flexible and a solid platform to use, yes, I would recommend you get it. If you are looking to replace an existing plate carrier, unless this has got some features that are way and above what you've got already, probably not. I mean, the main reason I got this is I like the quick release system, but I don't like the ladder sides. So I kind of wanted to get something with a solid cummerbund. It kind of works, but if I could find there are other plate carriers out there that could basically fit the bill. I'm going to give this a try it out for a few more months, maybe, using a few mil sims and skirmishes. But essentially, it's been okay. There are some niggles. As I say, I find it a bit warmer to wear, and it slips around quite a bit. I will endeavour to fix those. I'll keep adjusting these straps to try and see if I can get it to sit better on the shoulders. The covering here, I'm not really going to be able to do much with that. The positives of this are, there are quite a few of them, but the key thing is basically seeing if I can adapt to overcome some of the negatives, and if I can, then this will be a good side platform. If not, then I'm going to try other things, like potentially swapping these cummerbund onto the Recon plate carrier, for instance, or maybe the DCS or something, and kind of mix and match, and try and make things work a little bit more in my favour. So with that, I think that's pretty much all for this sort of walkthrough and review. This was the Warrior Assault Systems LPC, or low profile plate carrier. It's the version 1 version in Multicam. The version 2 version is the one with the ladder side. The version 1.1 is the one with the solid cummerbund. And with that, thank you all for watching. If you found the review today helpful, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see more content from the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification icon. And with that, thank you and goodbye.